Hey guys, welcome to another video on this channel. Oritech is a Minecraft mod that allows you to create a huge range of new machines and tools, allowing you to process ores, build a logistics system, and craft powerful high-tech equipment. Starting with simple generators, you can progress to fully automated quarries, farms, build a nuclear reactor, drone hubs, and even create yourself a super powerful armor or even augment your body. So let's not wait and dive in. This video will not cover the entirety of the mod, but only the basics to get started in Oritech. As you enter a new world, the first thing you will realize is that there are new types of resources that you can find. On the surface, most common in deserts, you may find crude oil, which is a valuable resource for different industrial processes. Furthermore, there are new ores, nickel, platinum and uranium, that can sometimes be found on the surface or underground. Platinum can also be found more often in the end, and there are new resource nodes, which are infinite sources of raw materials embedded in bedrock that you can later farm with powerful machines. They are usually below the location of ore boulders. The most important early game ores are copper, iron, coal and especially nickel, as you will need it for your first machines. There are a few important new materials we will need for basically everything. Steel, electrum and adamant. These materials can be crafted by hand, which is alright for the start, but we will quickly build machines to produce them in order to save resources. Before we start crafting, for this mod you need a mod like just enough items for all the recipes, otherwise you are cooked. Note that most of the items in this mod can be crafted in multiple ways. Using new machines is often cheaper than manual crafting, so you need to check which items are available to you at your current in-game progression and then look for the most efficient way. The first machine you need to craft is a basic generator, which will create energy called redstone flux. By combining nickel and steel ingots, we can craft magnetic coils. Then we need to craft these items together with a few others. Now we can place and open the basic generator. Enter any burnable material, like coal, to create redstone flux, necessary to power all of your machines. On the left of the interface, you can see the stored energy. Simply place your machines next to the basic generator or connect them with energy pipes to transport the energy via cables. When placing down most of the machines in Oritech, you will realize that the machine isn't functional yet, because many machines need machine cores to assemble them. These machine cores need to be placed at a specific position relative to the machine itself, which is shown by right-clicking with your hand on the machine. The number of required machine cores is shown in the item tooltip. Right-click on the marked area or directly on the machine with the machine cores and add the necessary amount. Then right-click again to assemble a machine. If a block is obstructed, it will be highlighted. There are multiple tiers of machine cores. Using a better machine core will increase the quality of your machine. To check the quality, hover over the icon on the top left of the interface. The quality of the machine cores has no effect on the machine directly, but determines how many add-ons you can add to it. And as we don't want to add any add-ons at the moment, we just use the cheapest one. Our first machine for processing items will be the assembler. The assembler features a 2x2 crafting grid to assemble items. Many of our new machine components require the assembler to be crafted, or the assembler will allow you to craft them with fewer resources. For the assembler, we need two motors, which are made with magnetic coils, and an adamant ingot. Craft all together, place it down, and assemble it. Even though the assembler already increases the efficiency of our resource usage, we still craft many important alloys like steel, electrum and adamant by hand, which is really wasteful. So we quickly need to set up a foundry and a pulverizer. The foundry can be crafted with electrum and a motor, which you can now create with the assembler. With the foundry, you can create super cheap netherite, electrum and adamant ingots, as well as new alloys and much more. So this block will really elevate your resource efficiency. The pulverizer can be crafted similarly, also using two motors. This enables you to crush blocks like redstone ore, raw iron or others, to receive much more resources than you would get when normally just smelting the raw ores. The centrifuge, another new machine, handles resource conversion for you, like separating core clumps or later even fluids. Crafting it is pretty easy, using two more motors. Next, we can create a powered furnace, which is like a normal furnace, but is powered by redstone flux. For this, you need more magnetic coils, and you either need to add platinum ingot or silicone by crushing quartz for dust, crafting it together with sand for raw silicone, and smelting that. and after we assembled the furnace, we can enter items to smelt them. Before we can move on, we will need our first add-on. Add-ons are used to upgrade machines in Oritech. However, the add-on slots are limited, and you need add-on extenders to get more slots for add-ons. Depending on the quality of the machine core, you can add more of these add-on extenders. The maximum number is equal to the machine quality. To add an add-on, simply sneak and right-click on a designated port, which you can find out by clicking Add-on in the machine's interface, or simply identify it by its unique texture. To check if an add-on is active, which depends on the correct placement and the machine core requirements, check whether it looks pink or blue, or simply check the machine's interface in the add-on section. There are a bunch of add-ons, but the most basic ones for the beginning are a speed add-on to increase the machine's speed, an efficiency add-on to increase the energy efficiency, a burst add-on that will allow processing machines to work in very fast bursts, and a fluid add-on to allow fluid processing, which we will need in a moment. You can use as many machine add-ons of different or the same type as their active ports. To craft stronger Oritech machines, you will need Fluxite. To farm Fluxite, we need an Enderic laser. To craft this machine, you need 2 more motors and 2 new carbon fiber strands. These items can be obtained by crushing coal in a pulverizer and then putting the coal dust in a centrifuge. And finally, we need an Enderic lens made with Enderic compound obtained by pulverizing ender pearls. As you assemble the machine, you will see it is looking at you, waiting for instructions. However, you need a target designator to give it instructions. And this target designator requires plastic to be crafted. To get plastic, we need to use our first add-on, a fluid add-on. You need to attach this block to the centrifuge by sneak right-clicking on a port with it. Now we can simply fill up the machine with water and then add packed wheat to create raw biopolymer. And this biomass in turn can be processed into plastic in the same centrifuge with water. Finally, we use the plastic to assemble a few processing units in an assembler, put all together, and have our target designator. Right-click a budding amethyst block while holding the item in your hand, and then sneak right-click the laser to store the target block's position. If it has energy, it will start farming Fluxite. Later, the laser itself can power machines, support wireless energy transfer, be used as a quarry to excavate the ground, and enable more processing. And this is the moment where we truly move into a system of connected machines, instead of just a few single ones. Now that we got plastic as a material, we can also craft machine paint. When sneak right-clicking with this item on any machine or decoration block, we can change the color of our machine, creating our customized factory. The final machine you should build as your starting setup is the Fragment Forge. For this machine, we need a flux gate, which is made with Fluxite. The Fragment Forge will also help you to process resources more efficiently and give you new methods to get different materials, like ore clumps. At the very latest, at this moment, you will realize that your basic generator simply doesn't cut it, as it doesn't produce enough redstone flux and requires fuel. So in order for us to get infinite energy without burning all of our coal, we can now build a solar generator. For this, we need to craft an advanced battery. This item is created by alloying nickel and Fluxite for energite ingots, and then crafting them into the advanced battery. Put all of that together with a basic generator, and there we are. This block will produce 32 redstone flux per second by default, like the basic generator, and it needs a bunch of machine cores. However, depending on the machine cores you're using, its production rate will be multiplied, up to 224 redstone flux per second. Besides solar panels, there are 3 other basic ways to generate redstone flux. Biogenerators convert biological materials into energy, which is great for using waste from your farms, like saplings, seeds, or whatever. Lava generators use lava to generate energy. You can put in lava buckets or simply use a pump. You need to place this pump above a liquid and power it with energy cables. To transport the lava to the lava generator, you need to attach fluid pipes to the pump and connect them to the back of the generator. Note that you need to right-click the fluid pipe connected to the pump in order to configure it for it to pump the fluid out instead of pumping it in. And finally, there's the fuel generator, which burns fuel like oil or diesel to produce energy. Again, you can use buckets or pipes, and even though you can use raw oil to get it running, the machine is truly efficient when using refined fuels you can produce using the refinery. At the latest now, you will need logistics blocks. There are energy pipes and superconductors to transport energy, fluid pipes to transport fluids, and item pipes. These transportation cables are also available as framed and duct versions. The item pipe even has a transparent version, which shows the items moving inside, if the whole pipe is transparent. For item and fluid pipes, note that you can choose an insertion or extraction mode by right-clicking the connecting pipe. If you want to disconnect pipes that, for example, run next to each other, right-click the connection with a wrench. When transporting items, you can use item filters to control which items go where, in order to set up an automated sorting system. The item filters have 5 input sides and 1 yellow output side, which needs to face the target inventory. You can choose up to 12 items to add to the item filter interface, and only these items will be allowed through. Or you can also allow every item to go through, except the chosen ones. If you want to transport energy over large distances, you can use energy transmission poles. Place 2 of these poles between 50 to 1000 blocks apart, and I recommend to do it on a small tower, and then assemble them with machine cores. Now you can use a target designator and sneak right-click on both of them with the item. The 2 poles will be connected via cables. You can link a single pole to any number of poles, allowing you to build large networks, sharing their energy. You can input the energy at a green port and extract it at a red port. And if you have a wrench with you, you can even use them as a cool zipline by right-clicking. Machines like solar generators are great, but they only produce energy during the day. That is why we need an energy storage to cover the night. The portable energy storage block is pretty good for that. To craft this block, you will need to assemble new basic batteries and then put them together with silicone and other items. Connect this block to your cables on the green input slot and use the red output slot for the energy output. The interface will show you how much energy is stored, and you can even set an output limit. You can store up to 1 million redstone flux, and this block is also great for travels, as you can just break the block and take it with you. If you need more energy storage that you don't really need to move and that can stay stationary, you can also craft a large energy storage, which requires similar ingredients, but additionally the new dubious container item. This block needs machine cores to assemble and can store up to 20 million redstone flux. The portable fluid tank is basically the same type of block, but it stores up to 256 blocks of fluid. Now that we have our whole set of starter machines, we can also craft our first equipment items and finally gain a real yield. The early game tools are the chainsaw and the hand drill, both made with Enderic compound. The chainsaw will let you harvest a whole tree super fast by shifting while breaking the block, and it deals 9 attack damage. The hand drill mines blocks pretty quickly. Both are only really useful when they are charged with energy, and you can enchant both of them. In the mid and late game, there are also stronger tools like a railgun. The exo armor of Oritech can be crafted with all the materials we already know. The exo helmet grants night vision, the chest plate will automatically charge your equipped energy items, the leggings increase movement speed, and the boots prevent all fall damage. The armor is only as strong as iron armor. And in the mid or late game, you can upgrade it with a jetpack or boosted elytra. To charge all of your equipment, you can put it, for example, in an energy storage or use an equipment charger. And for our final task in this video, we are going to build our first automated farm. For this, craft a destroyer block with an Enderic laser and a pulverizer. Assemble it and then place a machine frame of any size next to the destroyer on the same level. Make sure that it extends beyond the destroyer to the left and right. And then we need to add a crop filter add-on, which will make the destroyer only farm fully grown crops and not new ones. Now connect your destroyer to an energy source and make sure one level below the machine frame is excavated for our crops to grow. Now we need a fertilizer for our water supply to the farm. So craft yourself a fertilizer and then place it next to the machine frame so it connects to the frame itself. Then add water to the fertilizer by putting in water buckets or connecting it to a water supply. To get an infinite water supply, set up a 2x2 water field and place a pump connected to fluid pipes and energy cables above it. Connect your fertilizer to an energy source as well, and then plow the whole dirt below the machine frame. You will see the ground slowly being fertilized by the machines, but note that you might need to plow a few blocks multiple times until all of them are fertilized. Finally, we also need a placer block to place new crops. So craft yourself one, connect it to an energy source and fill it with seeds. You will see the machine starting to plant seeds, and after the plants are finally grown, you can see them being farmed and immediately being replaced with new plants in an endless cycle. In case your frame is so big that the machines can't keep up and, for example, not fertilize the ground enough, you can simply add more machines to the frame or add, for example, speed upgrades. Now all of our crops land in the destroyer, which will fill up pretty quickly. So we need to add some item pipes that will transport our wheat into a chest and seeds back into the placer block. For this, simply connect the pipe to the placer block by putting an item filter in between. In this item filter, you can whitelist the seeds so only they get sent through, and connect a chest so all of the rest gets pushed into the chest. And these are the basic mechanics of Oritech that you need to know to get started with this mod. Note that the order of these machines is not fixed, and you can choose for yourself what machines you want to start with and what you want to prioritize. But what else can you achieve with this mod? For example, you can build a nuclear reactor, a particle accelerator, extract infinite amounts of ores using bedrock extractors, set up drone ports to transport items and fluids with autonomous flying drones, control mob spawning by setting up spawner controllers, develop and install permanent upgrades to your body to increase your strength and apply permanent status effects, and finally, craft more super strong equipment items like a battle axe, a jetpack, a railgun to fight your opponents, and much more. It is also worth mentioning that Oritech has some really beautiful decoration blocks with amazing animations that will enable you to build cool factories, which in itself is already a great feature. Anyway, this is it for this video. If you enjoyed it and want to support my channel, I would really appreciate if you'd leave a like, comment and of course subscribe. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.